On this week's edition of Why, we have an abomination. Yes, we have a fucking abomination on our hands today. Oh, yeah. Lots of companies have made industrial fans, right? A whole bunch. One notable exception was Hunter. They had the original, so they thought, oh, we don't need an industrial fan, we have our original. So, at some point in the 2000s, they decided to make an industrial. And they failed miserably at this task. What we have here is a Hunter Osprey. This is the seldom seen industrial offering from Hunter. And there's a good fucking reason you don't see these anywhere. The reason? They suck. Yeah. This is one of the worst industrials out there. The blades on this thing have no curvature to them. They're practically flat. Not really much of an industrial, really. Gotta have some curvature, or at least a steep trailing edge. Oh, nope, not even that. Alright. What does it use? It uses a 172 by 15 or something about motor that they basically lifted out of, say, a Hunter Summer Breeze. Alright? So they put this stupid, residential spinner motor into this thing and built a little bit of a casing around it. I mean, the motor's even vented. Real industrials generally don't have vents. Okay? Yet this thing does. Oh, yeah, let this little crap get into the motor and clog it up and burn it out. Yeah, that's cool. The canopies are plastic. The bottom of the friggin' motor, that's fucking plastic. Yep. The blades are heavy-ass steel. Now, you would have thought they'd be smart enough to use aluminum, right? And later material, right? Especially with how weak the motor is. Nope! Let's just use heavy steel, because that makes sense. Now, this fan, alright, it mounts to a U-bolt. Here's the problem. It's the same fucking U-bolt the originals came with. What's so bad about those? They don't line up to actual box screws. They expect you to just, drill it into a joist or, join it into a U-bolt. Put the bracket into a U-bolt, ooh, cool. Yeah, not really practical. See, this was an issue with the original U-bolts. Alright, they were meant to go straight into a joist. They were not really designed, they didn't have the screw holes to mount to a standard 4-inch octagon box. Or a 4-inch round fan box, or whatever you want to call it. Didn't have them. So for here, I just put in a regular J-hook bracket, regular J-hook crossbar that mounts to anything. Cool. Hangs. Cool. How am I controlling it? Fan sync, because why not? So, yeah. I have only seen one of these abominations in the wild. Just one. In a local laundromat. It replaced a day turd, because of course it replaced a day turd. Why wouldn't it? Alright? Cool. So, yeah. These things were available briefly in the briefly in the 2000s. I'd say from maybe 03, 04 to maybe 09. I don't really know. Eventually they discontinued them in the United States and still offered them, overseas, but I'm not even sure that's still a thing. Because, yeah, the performance of this thing is questionable at best. So, what I'm going to do is get into my remote, get the fan sync up, defocus. What do I call it? Nope, not defocus, a little more. Great. Proper name. Yeah. Very proper name. So, we're going to start it on low. The motor is rated for 0.6 amps. According to the label, it uses 75 watts. The fan was made in the 8th week of 2007. So that's what this one dates to. I mean, the Hunter, being Hunter, could have made a great industrial, but did they? No, they just made this mediocre pile of garbage. No one really got these. No one. I mean, granted, there are worse industrials out there, but like the Airmaster Mark I, worst industrial I've ever seen. Cool. Right? Or they were, I mean, maybe something that slightly edges this one out, slightly if the capacitor's good, is maybe a Newtone Proline 2, otherwise known as a New Turd. Those ones are pretty crappy. Those motors are pretty small. They're probably 172s as well. Alright. But I feel like even that one moves more air because it has a better blade design. Hell, even Walmart! Walmart, of all places, offered an industrial. Alright? For a little while in the mid-2000s. And even they probably perform better than this goddamn thing. Because they have a proper steeply pitched trailing edge on the blade. You know, this thing doesn't. I mean, alright, this might work if you're dealing with a reversible industrial. Of course, this one isn't, even though it has the wiring and capability to be made reversible. If I really wanted to, I could hack a hole in the canopy and just wire up a reverse switch, no problem, maybe with Molex connectors, but this thing, oh god. Because the motor is, again, the same thing you'd find in any regular Hunter. So it is capable of being reversed. But, you know, no reverse here. I mean, a Hampton Bay Industrial wipes the floor with this. Even the SMC Industrials are respectable performers in comparison to this friggin' thing, because, again, they have properly designed blades. This thing, nope. So, on low speed is actually very good. Yeah, I actually do like this low speed. It is an aesthetic low. You know, industrials by nature are supposed to move more air. Okay, so, yeah, this speed is good for a low speed. I actually like this. Now, I got this fan new in the box. Probably 10? Okay, maybe not 10 years ago, but yeah, maybe 10 years ago. Let's go to medium. I got this thing, and as you get a medium, you start to hear the hum. Because all Hunter spinners, they all hum. Hunter, ooh, the quiet fan! Bullshit. It fucking hums. Rather loudly. And of course it wobbles a bit, because of course it does, it being a Hunter. I see one of the blades is slightly out of true. This is probably something I can fix. So, I'm going to stop the complaining there. Okay, so, okay, yeah, it's moving some air, but not a lot. Like, like, they would have been better off just outsourcing the design to another company and having them make them a good industrial. But no, couldn't do that. I mean, they could have gone to King of Fans and they could have had them make a good industrial. Nope, couldn't do that. Oh no. They had to try it themselves, have CCI make this abomination, whereas I don't think CCI had ever made industrials prior. Okay. So, it was not something they had any experience with. So, it was a rush job, it was a hack job, it was pathetic. Although one thing I do like about this motor is the tapered side. It's actually a rather steep taper. It's reminiscent of a CEC industrial. Except those are good. This thing, no. Anything but. By the way, I would love to find me a cast iron 56-inch CEC industrial. In case that hasn't been made obvious in the past. So, now I'm going to put the full blast. And now it really starts humming. And this plastic Canopies ain't helping. I mean, okay, it does get to an okay speed, sure, because the blades have practically no pitch. And again, they're not curved, they're not contoured, so it's just spinning and doing nothing. The blade pitch is probably like maybe 7, 8 degrees. It's moving something, but I feel like a builder fan would move the same amount of air. You know, this thing is ridiculously bad. I can't believe they even made this thing. They would have been better off just not making it industrial if they're going to make this. Like, terrible. It's barely moving any air. You know what? No, never mind. Yeah, I was saying, okay, a new tone for line 2 might be just, you know, a little better. No, it's better than this. A new turd industrial is better than this pile of garbage. Oh, how you have fallen, Hunter. You used to be great with the originals back before you shipped production off to Taiwan and made them garbage. You used to make great stuff. Great stuff. But now, this was just the beginning of a downward slope for the company. As of 2022, they've been sold again to another hedge fund, which is going to do really well with them with lots of gimmicks and bullshit. Like they hadn't been like that already, but now I feel like, oh, more of the same. Cool. Will they discontinue the original? Probably. Will they kill off the Casablanca name for good? Probably. Maybe next year. Because the company is a shell of its former self. It needs to be bought up by someone who actually knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to fan design, because it's sad. This is depressing. So now let me just turn this abomination off. It's a loud, it's a noisy fan. It buzzes. All you hear is wind noise, but don't feel any air movement, just the noise. This is the quintessential fan that converts energy into noise. That's what this is. All it does is convert energy into noise. And again, Hunter called themselves the quiet fan. What a load of shit that is. Okay, one thing I kind of like about the design are the swept blades. Those are okay. I do like that. It's reminiscent of, say, a lot of industrial air circulators with their swept blade designs and what have you. You know. But, oh god, this thing's bad. And if you keep it out of the box for too long, everything's gonna yellow. So it's going right back in. Or maybe it'll go off a roof. I don't know. This thing is ridiculously pathetic. I don't know why I got it. I think I paid maybe 20 bucks for it brand new in the box at a thrift shop. So, I mean, okay, I didn't waste too much money, especially for a new in-box industrial, but still, this one's bad. Kind of makes me want to revisit my Walmart industrial, the Aloha Breeze industrial. Yeah, bit of a turd, blades are flimsy, sure, but it actually moves some air because of the blade design being actually okay. But, god. And those things were $40 new, and they probably performed better than this freaking abomination. This thing had been sitting on my shelf, or a shelf, for too long. So I figured, you know what? I never got a proper review / test of this thing, so better late than never, I suppose. So if I have to cringe, so do you. So, there you have it. One of the worst industrials ever made, and one of the worst fans to carry a Hunter badge. The 56-inch Osprey.